Wink wink Molly, I agree. We're just waiting for some of the cars at the back to... No, everyone is in position. We're just waiting for everyone to load in and us to get the lights. Are we going to get them? I like this on board and we'll switch. So we can see the lights coming on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights, and we are... Go! We are off racing, and there's timing glitches all over the place. A few people at the back there with a slower getaway, but the Ferrari's going to lead. We're going to see if there's any contact further back in the grid. As Legends having a few issues. It seems reasonably clean at the moment, that's good to see. As we say, we approach turn number 3 up here in the top corner. Bennett's going to try and get around the outside. It seems to be reasonably okay. Cleanness seems okay. No, a wee bit of bump there between the Alpine and the Mercedes in the background, and we'll try and keep on board with all these battles. Molly ahead of Liam. There's a bit of argy-bargy there. Bennett alongside Rockemad. Bennett makes a move stick, and Rockemad may be compromised in his exit to his teammate Alfie. Try, we'll get a yellow flag there. It's a lot of a collision at the back. It's Liam and Paul that seems to be struggling. Follow around here as we have Elite Risk leading from Van Dorn to Bad Otter, followed by Bennett. We'll see as they approach this. We've got another issue here, a lot of cars. There's a McLaren there, I've Owen that's skidded off, we've got the Alfa Romeo of Gunnar, and that's allowed Liam and Paul. I don't think there's any sort of safety car. Owen's just going to rejoin as we follow the start of the field again, with Elite Risk leading the way. We'll go on the onboard here of Bad Otter, so then you get a better view of the pace of Van Dorn. Of course, Otter on these fresher tyres, or the softer tyres. See if any of them want to place a manoeuvre. We get smoke there on the move on Sem. You can see there, oh, and Rockemad hits Bennett, and that's going to compromise him a little bit as Alfie gets ahead as well. And that's going to allow smoke to run, possibly on Alan just behind. See what can happen here. Very, very close, but they make it work. That's the problem with Austria. There's so many battles, you're trying to find which one to follow. Bennett's dropped off the top 3 a little bit. I'm going to follow Otter, because he's right in the back of Van Dorn, and he's going to get that DRS in the next lap, lap number 3 when it's enabled. And we'll see what can go down here. I just need to quickly check a message from Legend. Alright, his Xbox down, that's fine. We'll keep an eye on that and get Legend back in as soon as we can. And we can see there soft medium and soft medium medium are the strategy suggested by the game. It's Van Dorn picking up a bit of pace there as Molly makes a move on it. Darren's actually went down the field a little bit. Let's try and get on board with that. Just did a poor entry, and he's lost the position to clock as well. I hate to do this, but this is the quickest way to skip through the cars. So you move up the front as Van Dorn on DRS gets Elite Risk, and we also there had Alfie making a move on Bennett. You can see how close they are as VR's by Sem, and Sem takes the place back in P9. It's all going off here in the Styrian Hills, and Otter's going to make a move, and there's a wee bit, the tiniest bit of contact there, wheel to wheel here, and we've got an issue in sector 2. There's a couple of cars dropping down. Rockemad is the man. It seems to be where Alex Albon had the incident. Sem's ahead of VR, trying to get back on board with Rockemad. You can see there, I don't know if there's any visible damage to the side pod of the car, and someone else is going down his Elite Risk. What's happened here? I just see a Ferrari flying in the background. There's Clock. It's not quite an as Glock moment, this is all happening. VR's over the track. Bad Otter's at a 10-second time penalty. I don't know if he's had some sort of move that's just not went on here. This is so chaotic trying to keep up. Van Dorn leads. Alfie's up to P2 now. We're going to have a few cars pitting for damage. Darren is one, Liam is another, followed by a few guys, but Van Dorn has pulled away with a 2.1 second lead, but it is going to actually be in his favour because Alfie's going to have to defend. Defending is going to cost him a little bit of time, so a good chance for Van Dorn to stretch away. And a few other penalties down there. Gunnar with a 3-second penalty, Rockemad in the pits. I'd love to breathe, but we have to keep talking because more chaos is unfolding. You can see there, if we got on board with Alan right behind Bennett, he seems to have a better run, but there's just nowhere to put the car. He's just had to back off there, but he's going to maybe give himself a better chance. I feel here it's a case of just maybe bide your time, put yourself in the best position, and use that DRS. Very powerful and effective around here. Very interesting line, excuse me, there by DPT Alfie. I've got another yellow flag. It's a Haas, and it's Prez that's been bitten by that gravel track, as Bennett at the same time loses out to Alan. I did say pre-race it was going to be an issue, that gravel trap. It was going to take a lot of people. I'd seen it happen in midweek, and it is biting, and it is biting very, very hard at this moment in time. Yellow flag in sector 3 again, that's just for Preds. We're okay. Right, who can we follow? The battles are left, right, centre and everywhere. The two teammates, the two Aston Martins, please boys, just don't hit each other. As we've got another yellow flag, and that is it's Darren again. And he's in the wall, he's at that, he's halfway across the circuit at this point. We'll see Rocky Man, you can see Darren over in your top left hand side there. That is going to take a bit of time for Darren to get out of that predicament. And we'll follow now with Alan as we get Molly up to 8th place, taking the position of Sauter Clock there. See if Alan's going to bide him time, because Alfie's softs could maybe be starting to lose a bit of pace, although admittedly he's only lost 2/10 to Van Dorn in the last lap or so. See if Alan just decides to set him up and then use the aid of the DRS. As we've got Darren in the pits there, as he is going to be lapped by the leaders. So it's going to be a long afternoon for Darren, but he's on the hards, so the race can come to him. I'll need a good bit of fortune. Let's see how good the launch is here from Alan. But that gives you a better idea just how effective the DRS, the slipstream, the toe is here. And he's not even at the corner, he's already ahead of him. So that just gives you an idea, if you're going to be racing over the course of this weekend, where your key overtaking place could potentially be. A bit of patience, and you can get them there as Clock makes the move on Molly. Will Molly try and get the switch back? He's going to have DRS along here. So let's see how they do. He's going to have to try and peel to the inside as Clock defends the outside, but I think Molly's just going to be wise about this one. And William is ahead of Badotta. We've got this fight here with Sem on the toes of Smoke, but also with legendary Danny behind. F1 Racer, if you're over the age of 16, which you need to be in this league, contact the SLR Twitter. 16 is the age limits and 2007 is 14, so you know, let's see what legendary Danny can do here. I would say, truly, the standard is good here. A lot of the guys do give themselves, or guys and girls with racers of all genders, all give themselves the right amount of respect and a lot of fair racing, that has to be said. Got another yellow flag there, and that is an Alfa Romeo of Badotta. He's had a bad time there. And it looks like he is going to get passed by Rockemad, and he's going to have to try and get out before the leaders, but those tyres are going to be all over the place. Maybe a junior driver, unfortunately. Of a Red Bull program, Sem's heading off, and he's just been passed there by Elite Risk, and I think DPT Paul possibly is too far behind. I wasn't sure how his tyres would be. So I'll try and catch as many of the incidents as I can, guys, but as I say, there is so much happening around here, so many close battles as Paul doesn't get ahead of his teammate. Just try to judge this through gaps. So Molly's is one of the smaller gaps, apart from the two Williams boys, and Bennett behind Alfie. Interestingly, Alan got ahead of Alfie, and I didn't even catch that. Let's just see how effective that toe is. So, look at that! Oh god, good job he's managed to find the brakes there, because that could have been Daniel Ricciardo into Max Verstappen. Or some of the terrible incidents we saw in the MotoGP, you know, when it was up at that high-speed corner. It's just, if you misjudge your braking there, you're going to have a bad time, to quote the South Park. Let's see, Bennett will try and give you some more broadcast angles. I just feel the onboards are so much better in terms of just seeing how effective the slipstream and the toe is here, but also the dirty air in certain sectors. Keep an eye on this one. That's a slow moving car. Rockemad, I don't know if he's maybe been too quick on the power. Oh, Spinella. It looks like Rockemad is going to have a pretty poor evening, for the seemingly about to be lapped by SLR Van Dorn and the Mercedes. Follow, we'll get another yellow flag. That's just Rockemad slowing down just to let everyone by, because I say it's not the greatest position to be. Not going you're all out. Could lead to some sort of coming together. Just want to see, well, Alan's going to have the DRS actually off of Rockemad, so he's going to protect him here. I'll be intrigued to see just how long Alfie and Smoke can keep together. I'm going to follow these two Williams boys. We drag race against each other. Let's see it from VR's perspective. And the two teammates, I don't know if they'll be in the same party. Oh, Paul goes a wee bit wide there. And Sam will look to try and get the cut back. You can see in the VR maybe just biding his time here. Both of the guys are on the same strategies in the Williams camp. See, it looks to be pretty smooth sailing. I can see Bennett is catching and gaining on Alfie. This might be one that happens here. Bennett has a fairly healthy battery. It's whether or not he risks it here or if he decides to risk it in this sector. Oh, someone's way down the order there. It's just a timing glitch. Thanks very much, Cody's. Now somehow this has turned into the battle for 13th, 14th and 15th. We saw this happen many a times in this game, so you kind of get used to it. Let's just hope it sorts itself out. I've never really had it mid-race as late as this. It's usually been the first couple of laps. You can confirm this is your battle for second. Alan defending Alfie. I think those soft tyres are starting to go off a bit. They might get another... They could get another 8 laps out of them if I'm being perfectly honest. They can go to lap 16. Oh, Bennett's had a bit of a wobble there on his onboard. You can see there a bit of dirty air possibly. Yellow flag in sector 2, and I think that's just Dan getting out of the way. People jump back down. And a drive-through penalty for corner cutting and gaining 3 positions, Gunners. And a retirement. And a Rocky Mad DNS in the pits. Right, fair enough on that. But what has Gunnar done? I've not caught that one. That's interesting. But we do have the correct leaderboard. And that's your leader. SLR Van Dorn. Yellow flag in sector 1. That's just the way Rocky Mad's car leaving the pits. And hopefully by the end of this lap we'll have our true gaps back together. And we'll see... You can see Van Dorn's a little bit out in front there. You can see your mini-map on the right hand side, and then you've got the Allen train followed by Alfie, Bennett, Smoke, Legendary Danny and SF1 Molly. I'm not biased, got Mo. But doing not too bad so far. Still 18 runners after 11 laps, so we're pretty much, well, as we start lap 12, a third of the distance through. Some people will be considering, as I say, pit stops possibly soon if you're on the softs. You might look at even going into the hards. I think everyone that was suggested we're maybe going to do a 2-stopper is not going to happen, as Danny takes up a penalty. I'm actually going to go at the back of this just so you can get that visual camera up above, just how close it is and how effective the toe is, and how you can throw it away if you don't have the greatest run out of it, of that corner. This is the big battle at the moment. You can see that Alan's dropped about a second to Van Dorn over those last couple of laps. Jump on board with Alfie just as he's behind Alan, and I want to see how the softs are going to hold out now. As you'd expect this to be a part of the race where the mediums start to take the forefront. See how it goes down now. Using a lot of battery as Alfie. I don't know if that possibly means pits soon, because you know, he'll be able to recharge some of the battery in the pits. But he decides to carry on. Let's see how they all take this corner, just as we do the car by car. Then Molly's dropped a little bit of pace there off of Legendary Danny, but he does have pressure from Clock, followed then by a good little gap to Elite Risk and then Sem. And then it's a little battle behind Sem between DPT Paul and then VR46 as well. Yellow flag, and that is a Ferrari. It seems it's had an incident. And that is SLR Morgan. We see there is Clock just didn't get close enough to Molly there, as things a wee bit more of a toe. And I might have looked at this one because Paul is going to try and make a move on Sem, and does so very cleanly. Interesting to see what kind of run Sem has at him. And yeah, obviously with the double dose of DRS, I believe. So Paul, I think those two are just going to keep squabbling and maybe just dragging each other along. Don't know if that is a pre-race game plan. Now this is interesting. Danny's right behind Smoke. Smoke might be struggling. and he's decided to peel off into the pits, so he's given up on the softs. There's starting to be a couple of gaps there forming on between the leaders, between the soft runners and the mediums. Alfie was just out of DRS. I think he may have gained it again. We'll see what Smoke decides to jump on to. And it is a set of mediums. Will mediums go 22 laps here? It's not for me to say. Morgan has had an off. Let's try and find Liam in the Mercedes. You can see there Morgan, and we have a safety car. How gutted is Smoke right now? Because others may commit, but it's not the greatest time to commit to the pits. Somebody's made a great... No, it's a safety car. Ignore that. I was going to say somebody made a great decision. No, it's just a safety car coming out. So the Mercedes of Liam is in the pits first. He's decided to ditch those mediums. As a safety car, of course, will neutralise the race. Next round is a McLaren. If I'm Darren, I keep going. Unlap yourself, mate. Get yourself back into contact down there. It's Owen that's there. So Liam, Owen, Bad Otter. I wonder if Darren decides just to go for it, just to try and gain some positions. Obviously the Delta's not going to help him here. But your race leader's in, Van Dorn, Alan's in, Alfie's in, Bennett, I think everybody's just going to jump in. Legendary Danny, Molly's going to have to stack. Clock's in. Light Risk is in. I think everybody's just coming in. Paul, that move that Paul has made is going to be absolutely vital. We're going to see a few positions shuffle here because of stacks and the like. Smoke stays out, and Smoke is going to come out in P6, which I think is maybe like one position down where he was. So he's not lost out horribly, and it's interesting that Bennett, Danny and Clock have went in the soft, so they're going to have to go really, really attacking. And they've definitely committed to a two-stop. Van Dorn, Alan and Alfie are going to go to the end. In fact, everyone else is aiming to go to the end, apart from Bad Otter, Preds. Owens went for the mediums, so we have a lot of differing strategies here. I just feel sorry for Darren. It's like if it was a case of the game would actually just like, you know, let him get by and unlap himself. He's kind of tied up here. But I think we'll probably have another lap or two behind the safety car. I've got a wee message here. Is this Legend trying to get back in? Oh, he's got a power cut. So we're on our own here. I'll try my best to keep up with the action, but considering the gap's only going to be massive here, we'll miss a thing or two. So while I take a quick intermission to have some iron brew, let us know in the chat how you are finding the race so far. Who do you feel has made a tactical gamble that may pay off? Who do you feel is in the prime position to win here? And who has made a big boo-boo with a strategy call? As we've got Darren in the pits now, so he's going to go at the back of the field a lap down. And decides to retire, because effectively that's screwed his race. Sam's going to pit again. I think he's going to move from hards onto a pair of softs. Medium, sorry. Unless he's feeling aggressive, but there we go, mediums. As I say, 20 laps is what I feel the mediums can go. I've certainly seen people do that last year in Division 3, but again, last year, different game. And it was the same lap. I've also seen Dodgy have a puncture. But good to see he's all getting a bit discussion-y in the chat. That's what we like to see. Let us know if you're racing this weekend in SLR, if you're confident, if you're optimistic, or if you're dreading the race that you're about to have this weekend. Myself, I have done absolutely zero practice for this race, and yeah, I'm going to have a busy day tomorrow. It's also next Sweat Squad Battles, which I'll be doing as soon as this race finishes. What a life. So I think we might get one more lap, because Bad Otter is still fairly behind with a certain part of the track. Mercedes safety car. F1 Racer says the medium runners will benefit the first 15 laps, the hards will start to claw it back. Remember that big thing. Track position is key in F1. Well, I worry for Bennett, he's going to have to attack here and pull a gap, but 3 cars that are very capable drivers is pretty tricky. In fact, we've got a bit of time. Ignore that, you never saw penalties. We want position gains. Let's have a look. So, big gainer has been SF1 Molly with 10, Clock is up 9, Preds with 7 and Owen with 6. And from Alan starting P7 is up to P5. Biggest loser so far have been Elite Risk down 8 and Bad Otter down 12. And of course Rockaman's DNF with him down 30 positions. Ignore the... How good we missed it. Just making sure we did not see the penalties. Because when they start racking up for everyone, it just adds that little bit more of a suspense to what we're about to endure. So safety car is coming in this lap. We'll see how Van Dorn handles the safety car restart. Will he go as early as possible or as late as possible as he backs the field up to allow Bert Mylander the chance to get away? And this is Division 1. I should have put that in the title, but panicked and rush. So this is our second tier behind our McEwen division on a Sunday night, which is the Elite division. And we have Division 2 and Division 3 taking place on a Saturday, 6 PM and 9 PM. So Van Dorn very slow there. He's going early. He's actually going really early. And this is going to see who gets corner cutting penalties here. Oh, that looked a bit wobbly for Van Dorn. Molly is in a collision with Risk. That'll be interesting to see how that happens. I never really saw that. I'm just going to go on the onboard here of Alan. In fact, we'll go with Alfie as he gets a penalty. Because Alan is right on the slipstream of Van Dorn. As I say, Van Dorn had that healthy lead taken away by the safety car. We'll just trickle through the field here. Oh, there's somebody away wide there. That's legendary Danny. As I think he just overshot the corner possibly. He's going to get the run on Bennett though. Both of them are probably going to be hammering their DRS. We'll see how it's from Smoke's perspective. And Bennett just gives him enough space. That's very fair, I'd say that. And Bennett should be ahead going into the next corner with legendary Danny slotting in just behind the wee battle at the back there between Sem and Liam, 14th and 15th respectively. Let's see what else we've got going down. There's just an onboard perspective from Clock. Molly's dropped there a few positions. I don't know if he's maybe carrying damage from that collision. As Danny picks up a penalty, Molly will carry on. So we'll pop back up to... These are the guys I want to keep a keen eye on in this part of the race. Your likes, your Clocks, your Smokes, your Dannys and your Bennetts. They can't be tussling with each other. They need to get ahead of these guys ahead, but they need that DRS. The problem for Bennett is, because him and Danny are battling each other, they're just going to rinse their DRS. They're going to be less effective when they get or the DRS when they get to Alfie. So if anything, this battle is going to possibly cost them going. Cheers for that beast, much appreciated. Helping out the young star. Let's have a look and see if... yep, made the move there, the Red Bull on Bennett. Let's see how close they get in that camera angle. Bennett's up the inside, just slots in behind. I think it's probably just a wise, safe decision there. Yellow flag, and that is Smoke, and that was a bumper car. There's... Molly's gone somewhere, I don't know if that's just Smoke. Owen's retired, it's... oh my word. And I think the fact that Ghosting isn't on is... I don't know if Paul's... wouldn't have reset the track there. We've lost Owen. That was chaotic. I don't even know how to summarise that. I just at one point saw a lot of smoke. No pun intended, smoke. But we've lost Bad Otter, we've lost them to pit stops anyway. So Bad Otter, Smoke, Liam and DPT Paul. We'll get a better idea from them later on. I'll obviously get told by Molly. You can see Smoke's getting a fresh wing there. I was going to see if Paul's going to get one as well. I'd assume so. Yeah, fresh wing there. Liam's out the pits. And also we know about Smoke's new wing. Bad Otter away. Good decision, I'd say, by Bad Otter, mediums. We'll safely go at the end. Paul's going to be very cautious, but they certainly can do 16 laps on a shorter fuel load. And then Smoke will come out dead last in P16, but as I say, he is going to be... they're going to be mediums, so it's Positionally wise, not great. It's also not ideal for the likes of Preds, Danny, Bennett and Clock, because the position where they'd need to be using the best out of these tyres are being served behind a safety car. Hopefully we shouldn't be too long behind the safety car, just purely on the basis of where we are. There you go, Bennett taking that gamble. I didn't want to say risk because, you know, risk's in at the same time as them. Preds as well, so a lot of the soft runners are getting rid of him. I think Bennett in that position has just went, he's going to lose too much time behind Danny, it's going to screw that predicament, so he's going to go. I think that's a visual glitch because I think risk possibly... No, he was losing a penalty, because sometimes you can have a visual glitch when you're fixing a wing change. So Bennett, Risk and Preds, see where they come out. Bennett has survived to P9, that's not the worst considering he's going to be in the freshest tyres. If you're Danny, if you're Clock, you're going to have a bad sign. But yeah, hard runners up there, some fresh mediums. Sem up into P8 now on mediums, so he's probably, obviously they're 4 laps old, but he's going to be in the raciest tyres that will last to the end of the race. 19 laps I say is roughly doable, especially with a couple behind the safety car. Paul's not the worst strategy in the world here, it could work. If the safety car didn't come in this lap, I would certainly say box and try it. If you're in the end like a Liam or if Smoke's got fresh softs, but interesting to see who takes what decision. Danny stays out, so there's Clock. And we'll have another lap behind Bert Myland. Sem has left the session, right. Give me 2 wee seconds, folks, because I do need to be the guy that does this as well. Oh, he's back in. We're all good, we're all good, we're good. And Sem has got a 5-second penalty for ignoring a yellow flag. We have caught that on stream. If he wants to use that as evidence that he had literally joined back in, if anybody wants to make him aware of that. So if he doesn't pit again, we have got that caught on stream, because that was literally, he took back control of the car and then he got that. So if anybody can, like, if it is in communication with him, you know, let him know. And Smoke, by the way, well, I was too busy trying to worry about getting Sem back in. Smoke has taken that risk. Why not? Softs will go that amount, he's got the fresh softs. And Bert Mylander is going to do another lap. Well, anyone. If I'm Danny or I'm Clock, I'd just pit right now. I'd go for it, I'd just take the risk and get another pair of softs on if they've got them. Danny is going to stay out and Clock is going to stay out. Yep, nobody taking that risk. Oh, somebody's in. Preds is going to gamble. Liam is going to gamble. And you're just hoping if the safety car stays out, it's just going to give you a better chance of making those tyres last. Liam on the softs. And the Haas pit crew are also going to put Preds on the softs. This is going to get interesting, because we are only 2/3 of the way through this race in a lap's time. Just getting my vocal cords ready for how mental and dramatic this is going to be, but I'd like to believe, given the core pace of the safety car in relation to Preds and Liam, we should be good to go, and they're going to be in a good position because they are going to have nice heated warm tyres. So compare your 7-lap old softs here, hard, sorry, to your 0-lap old softs. Quite the difference. We'll jump on with your race leader. See how he decides to take it. He's done 1 safety car restart already. See if he decides to go earlier or later than before. Bit of weaving. He's going later. See if Andy's been caught napping. Danny's been caught napping a little bit, and Clock smells a chance of passing. I'm always going to slot in behind there, but it seems like, oh, there's a bumpy ride there for VR, I think it was in the Alpha Tauri. They're all going to come bombarding up to turn number... Oh, there's two cars up getting very close. I'll try and get in behind that, between Bad Otter and Bennett. Oh, late risk. Sem's a bit later on the brakes. Sem's a bit of a wheel spin coming out of there. That's going to see Bennett stride by the Williams Mercedes of Sem. And that's going to see P8 there. We'll jump up to the top of the field. We've got legendary Danny. Paul and Smoker having a little bit of a duel further back. Just you can see there, just those softs just were a wee bit quicker, even though the 8 laps all just to heat up than Alfie's hards. Let's see if we can make a manoeuvre. Of course, it'll be a wee bit, maybe another 2 laps till we get some DRS back active. But how much longer can Danny and Clock keep on those soft tyres? So the softs will go at the end from now, if they're fresh. So we take a keen eye there on Alfie. We're going to start looking a bit more into their ERS usage, because you can see there's a lot that are fairly rinsing. Look at the pace difference. He's going to make a move. Surely Danny's going to go for it. He's going to try and send it. Just misses that rear right wheel of DPT Alfie, although he does have a really decent... Well, he did look to have a good run. Look at that battery, 30% already, and it's not the easiest track to harvest that. You could be making gains here, but it could haunt you further down the race. Molly's dropped out of the DRS and there's a Molly train, and we also have Van Dorn out of DRS as Alan has dropped 1.2 seconds behind. I'm going to follow Bennett if I can get to him, because this is one of the closer gaps on track, just 2/10. You just see with the onboard where VR's going to place his car in a more defensive position. Danny gets I believe a 4th or 5th 3-second penalty. VR goes right there. And DRS will be able to look at the much better run that Bennett gets. This has got to be a move into turn 1. He's already ahead of him, so he'll have a better position, and there you go, as the Aston Martin takes the position from the Alpha Tauri. Will VR try and get the slipstream in the toe up the hill with DRS? Look at the train! So get Alfie, and I'm going to try and go with that. Let's get the 2 Honda cars of Danny and Alfie. Danny's get ahead of him. It moves there, Sem on Otter. We've also got Risk on DPT Paul. Look at the moving as Danny is up ahead of Val. And those softs have still got a bit of life in them, but he's going to have to clear them as quick as he can, because he'll have to box again. So we get a better angle there as an off. And that is Smoke. I think it's Smoke and the Aston Martins are a bit of an off there. I've not been able to clock that, what exactly happened. You can see here, is Clock going to start making progress on these softs? They've warmed up a lot quicker than the hards. A yellow flag in sector 3, and that is Sem. Will quickly jump to try and find him. Where is it? He's backed off a little bit there with a bit of wobble. Legendary Danny, the fastest lap of the race, a 106.353. You'd expect either him or Clock to get that in the closing stages on fresher softs. Just look at that battery. He's done so much to get ahead of them. His legendary Danny, about 5% battery, is going to practically be minimal. As we'll get Bennett making a move on Molly, and that's just going to be fresher tyres. Bennett's in a good position here, a really good position, and if he can extend a gap... Oh, and there's Bad Otter taking the Alpha Tauri of VR46. That was blinking, you miss it stuff, so I don't even know who I don't even want to put blame on somebody there. It was kind of like, just happened to land on it. But those things can happen if you don't get on the power at the correct time. And we'll jump by now, we'll go back to Clock because he's closing in on Alfie. We also have Risk in a good position to try and catch up on Molly. And a few other battles further down the field. We'll keep an eye on the timing screens. VR picks up a penalty. As Sem's box for softs, there's an off somewhere, and that is legendary Danny. Oh my word, look at it, he's going to be dead last now. He's got all these cars to let go before he can spin the car round, and he's going to have to go on a late pair of softs. Bad Otter is going to pit on his softs. He must obviously have wing damage, as we'll stay on board here with Elite Risk if he's going to make a move on Molly into turn at number 3. He does not, but he's right behind the rear wing of the Red Bull. Just feel those hards are really dying off now, and all the faster runners are going to start filing through. Risk sends it. It's risky, but it pays off. Fantastic clock now. We're on watch with him. We'll see if he can get the move done on DPT Alfie. Oh, and Alfie's round, and so is Clock. Oh, and then I just see a lot of gravel, and oh, that's good luck, Stuart. Yep, as I say, it is getting to that feisty time of the race. You know, points make prizes in the championship, and now we're going to be with DPT Paul chasing down the Red Bull of Mo. Molly's in a position here where he can see there's, well, we can't see, but there's gaps behind him that are quite healthy, so if he can keep at it, he's going to have a good position. We'll see if Paul makes the move, but he's going to just wait to DRS. Molly is going to be still within it, but you can just see the difference between the hards and the softs there on the power as Paul launches by. Risks is going to risk it all. You can see it from that angle, him and Bennett. And Risks makes it stick. Yellow flag in sector 3, I think it's a Ferrari slowing down. Wrong camera angle, we want on board with Bennett here. Is he going to try and get back at Elite Risks? And it looks like Elite Risks is going to stay in P3. So a manoeuvre there. Molly and Paul battling at it as Molly got him back. It looks like it's going to be just the grippier tyres of the Williams car. Just going to see him up in P5. Danny's decided to pick, obviously, with that spin. Those tyres would have been God knows which temperature. I really mentioned them, but Van Dorn's winning the race again. He's 1.7 seconds up the road, and then 2 seconds because of that battling to Elite Risk. We'll follow Liam, who is chasing down Preds. So Preds has managed to recover from that incident. Preds has got a time penalty though. You can see there after Liam, that's when the gaps start to show. Alfie must have had, I think he was at Alpine involved in that off, but you can see there 6 seconds to him, 9 to Clock, 8 to Smoke. And you get Bad Otter behind, and of course time penalties will be a factor. Bennett again putting a good bit of pressure onto Elite Risk. Again, look at the battery. 5%, 6%. Risk's the same. Look at your leaders coasting out there with good battery, but the battling is what's hindering these guys from making further inroads in the cars ahead. Molly's got a good bit of battery. I don't know if he's just buying his time, maybe use that at the end of the race to be a bit more defensive when these other soft cars reach him. We'll follow him for a little bit. We'll see how the Mercedes Petronas car does here. VR picks up a penalty. We'll see if Liam just wants to size up Preds to get a move done in the most effective place. Both guys. Similar tyre life, similar tyres. You can see there the harvesting the energy on the Haas there as the red light decides to flash. And Liam's going to go for it, because what Preds will be trying to do is obviously get into Molly's DRS. And get a little battle at the back there between Sem and VR46 as Sem takes position number 13. Here you go further up the field though. My reason being is right off in sector 3 for this. Smoke's been passed by Otter, but it's VR with the spin. But Elite Risk and Bennett are closing in the DRS of Allen. Sem takes the fastest lap in a 105.2 for the Williams racing car. Interesting enough, I don't even know if I've still got it on the screen. Nope, we didn't have a fastest lap in last year's race, so I can't even confirm that, but a 105.171 for Danny there as VR retires in the pit, so we're now down to 14. Remember, top 10 scored points, true Formula 1 points up for grabs. There's a few decent tidy battles here. Bennett goes a little bit wide. So Elite Risk is going to put pressure on Allen. Let's have a look. Done him. See ya. But the thing is, a wee bump there, Allen is going to have far better ERS. Stick with him, there's an off there, that is an Alpine, I believe, or is that Legendary Danny? It's Sem, it's a Williams actually. Yeah, a couple of battles that I think are quite close. Alan, Bennett, Risk, Liam and Preds are obviously very close. Molly's kept up with Paul, but I think Paul's softs are starting to die off a little bit. So that's going to be quite interesting. We'll see how Alan does here in his bid to try and get back into this one. Yellow flag, and I think that's just Sem possibly getting out of the way. Considering they did the 10-second penalty for track limits, I'd assume that would be the case. Give me the on board, please, that would be better. See there how they ride the curb to try and set themselves up, get the best launch possible. See their risk, very little ERS for the end of this race. How well Alan. See, if I'm Alan, it's tricky. I know he's on hards, but if you just try and stick in the DRS and keep as much of the battery, and then maybe attacking the last lap, it's tricky. Because as much as you want to attack, you need to defend from Bennett behind. We jump on with Molly, see how he's going to do. He's got a good bit of battery as he chases DPT Paul, while Clock closes out to the fresher tyres of Bad Otter. Gets Sem in the pits for a new set of tyres, possibly a new front wing. As Clock make the move again on to DPT Alpha this time. Let's see how close these three are though. Danny picks up another penalty. It's not been his day today, Danny. He's been very unfortunate with the time penalties, and I think that's going to see him probably stay 13 actually if he's a lap ahead of Sim. We have 3 laps to go here at the A1 ring, at the Red Bull ring, whichever you want to call it in this day and age. We'll see if Molly is going to go a bit more aggressive with a few laps remaining, rinsing a bit of, well he was, he's backed off the DRS. He feels the DRS is going to get him close to Paul, brakes cautiously. We'll see how quickly they got on the power. This is your closest battle. It's not, because Preds is right on the back. He's using all his DRS. He's right on the back of Lima's Clock. Paul and Molly switch positions and switch back. I think they'd Smoke take advantage of a move there on Clock as well. But Preds here just going to slow him behind. It's the trickier part of the track to overtake, as you'll see here. Molly just sliding in behind Paul. You're effectively setting yourself up for a move in the next lap. Try keeping an eye on 3 battles at once here. The gap's still just over a second. I think it is going to be too much for Risk. Of course, remembering as well that Elite Risk does have a time penalty. So I think if you're Alan and Bennett, you're just trying to stay within that. I think that's going to be Sem again. It's not Sem, sorry, I really do apologise for that. It is actually DPT Alpha, so that is one of our points runners. It might see Bad Otter get close to them. He's managed to get away again, or Bad Otter takes a penalty. We'll jump up here to turn 3 where we're looking to see about incidents. And that is just, I think it's just DPT Alpha going slow. And it's Bad Otter in the pits in the wall. Oh, it's not a good place to spin, buddy. We'll keep on board because your race leader has been clogged into DRS. DPT Paul has a moment. He has spun, he has dropped a few positions there. You can see down to 8th place. Big massive gap ahead of DPT Alpha, so he is probably going to remain where he is as long as his tyres have not completely burned out. Van Dorn here as he's getting ready to start the final lap of the race. As he hits the final corner, and now he just has to maintain a 1 second lead. Not particularly over Elite Risk, but more so over SLR Allen, who is going to be closing all over the back of Elite Risk. We'll see if he wants to make a move, but it is just going to be a case of for track position, and there he goes, up into second place. Defends really, really well, not really giving Elite Risk anywhere to go. Bennett here, if you can keep it penalty free, your front three is likely to be Van Dorn, Allen and Bennett. And then after that it's going to be a case of penalties are going to throw this leaderboard left, right and centre. As Elite Risk gets back ahead of Allen. These could take each other out, which is mad. Oh, a bit of a cut across there from Elite Risk. I just prefer the Bennett camera actually get close up to see how close these two are together. There'll be a bit of lag there for Bennett. We'll keep following this for a little bit. We are going to see, I think it is going to be as you were at the front, so we'll follow on with your race leader. Legendary Danny picks up another time penalty. Bad Otter's DNF'd in the pits with a lap to go. Why, I don't know. But your winner is SLR Van Dorn for Mercedes Petronas. followed by SLR Allen, followed by SLR Bennett. Elite Risk takes 4th position, and Molly is going to drop down to 6th, it seems. Pred's up to P5, Liam in 7th. We're going to have DPT Paul take 8th position, or just decide to hit the wall. I sometimes do that after a Motherwell game. Thanks, boys. DPT Alfie is going to take home possibly 2 points, penalties permitting, of course. And those penalties make me think Smoke might take an extra point. Nope, Smoke into P10, 2nd off, and then Clock 11th. And we're going to finish up with legendary Danny in position at number 12. Credit to you guys for finishing. And P13, once he surpasses, I believe, Bad Otter, should be Sam, although it'll probably classify Otter ahead. But that's what you want to see. You want to see that John Cena attitude of never give up. And interesting line there from Sam, but he'll come across the line, get his little bit of time in the spotlight. Glad you enjoyed it, man, and hopefully we'll see you in a few years' time. So your top 3, SLR Van Dorn, SLR Allen, and SLR Bennett. So just have a wee quick look at the championship. That is the race leader, that is top of the championship, sorry, that won the race. Allen in 10th, and Bennett in 5th. So that is going to see some manoeuvring in our Drivers' Championship. If you'd like to stay stationary for the next couple of minutes, I'll try and get everyone in the party for their post-race thoughts. So we'll quickly give you a wee second to see the leaderboard there, see what you think. I need to try and get my breath back. I've spoke pretty much consistently for 2 hours. I don't think even David Croft does that. But Allen and Bennett. Come on, guys, I'll just be 2 seconds. I'm trying to find Alan on this friends list. Where's he hiding? This is awkward. Can't find him. 2 seconds, I'll get my race director. Okay, guys, give me 2 seconds, we'll just wait till everybody's in the party, and then we'll get this over and done with very quickly, because I can barely talk. But I hope everyone in the chat that viewed that enjoyed that. As I say, it was a lot of action across the board, very hard at times to keep up with stuff. Glad to say that Alan's joined the party as well, so we do have our top 3 with us. We'll try and make it as quick as we can. If you can all tick your boxes, and we'll start with 3rd place man, which was Bennett. How did you find that, buddy?
Yeah, that was an interesting race. It was, to be honest, that was probably my most enjoyable race of the season. Plenty of overtakes, and it was a bit different with strategy, so I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was nice.
Do you feel that the safety car worked in your favour?
Yes,
I
knew I made a mistake at the first one by going to softs, because to be honest, I didn't think that anyone was going to pick the hards, because I knew that they weren't the greatest race tyre around here. Well, that's what I thought. So I knew when I set them softs, it's going to have to be absolutely foot to the floor and do two stints on the softs. But I think luckily when that safety car came out, I thought, well, mediums, 15 laps to the end, I've got to do it, otherwise I'll just lose even more time that I try and gain where I lost it under the safety car. So yeah, I think the second safety car definitely worked in my favour.
And the last question I wanted to ask you, I kind of felt this way on the stream at the time. Do you feel like when you were battling with Danny, was that just costing you too much time to get the peak performance out of those softs, regardless of the safety car?
Yeah, definitely. It really wasn't helpful that he was also on a fresh set of softs, where everyone ahead of us were on mediums, and he seemed to have really good pace, so he was obviously trying to get past me as much as I was trying to get past the other guys ahead, but I had to do a bit of defending, which lost me some time. But in the end, it didn't really matter, because the second safety car came out and I think pitting for mediums was the right call.
Not a problem, buddy. As I say, congratulations on
Thank
your
you very
P3,
much.
and that's some good points for the Aston Martin boys. So thank you very much for that.
Lovely job.
I'll move on to our second place man, which was SLR Allen. Second place, pretty good result for you. I did nosy in at a race midweek that you had, because James was in it. A lot better fortunes for you this race, and then how did you find tonight?
Mate, to be honest, I wasn't expecting it. Like, Austria was one of my worst tries on the calendar. And to get P2, I don't even know how I've even done it. With no penalties either. I mean, I was messaging Bennett halfway through the week, saying it's so easy to get a penalty around here, just run wide or anything like that. And you get a penalty, like, I don't even know how I've done it.
So I've got to ask then, what was your expectations coming into the race then?
Well, I wasn't even expecting to get into Q3. Like, I would have been happy with top 10. But even better with P2, so...
That's absolutely brilliant, mate. Congratulations on that. As I say, it's always good to see someone that, you know, maybe didn't quite expect something, gets a shock result, and, you know, they've had a very enjoyable experience in the evening. So, congratulations to that, buddy. Well done.
Cheers.
And we'll finish up with the race winner, SLR Van Dorn. I don't know how you found it, because obviously it was dead eventful behind you, but yeah, you led that race pretty much, was it start to finish pretty much? And
Pretty much.
yeah, how did you find it?
I was very comfortable out there. There was in qualifying there, my first few laps, I still felt comfortable then. And race, I just kept my head down once I got in front of Elite and just kept pushing and pushing as much as I could away from everyone. And then on them safety car restarts, I tried making sure I was getting a jump as well.
See, when you've got that kind of situation when you're feeling comfortable, and then obviously you get the safety car, is it frustrating when you lose that kind of gap that you've established when other cars are battling each other?
Yeah, it is a bit frustrating, but you just got to sort of recompose and just do what you was doing before.
As I say, it was an absolutely stellar drive. We tried to put the camera on you, but you were kind of everybody else's DRS. So yeah, as you say, a very, as I say, comfortable race out in front. Last question I'll ask you is basically top of the Drivers' Championships going into the race. You've picked up the win here tonight. Have you felt the season's went perfect so far? Is there anything you maybe feel went a bit wrong or something you could improve on or anything?
I wouldn't say it's gone perfect. There's things that I've could prove on and still need to prove on, which is probably at the minute still my qualifying pace. My race pace is good. That's probably anything I need to improve on at the minute.
Not a problem at all. As I say, it's been 8 rounds so far out of 24, which by my calculation puts us a third of the way through the season. So a great start from yourself, and I'll say for you guys, thank you very much for joining the party, for having a few words with us, and thank you to all 20 drivers that took part for our spectacular race. I've spoke on for about 2 hours now, an hour myself. My throat is killing me, so I'll round it up here. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see here at SLR, we have Division 2 at 6 PM tomorrow, we have Division 3 at 9 PM tomorrow, and we have the McEwen Division, the Elite Division, which is on Sunday night at 7, I believe. And do we have F2 next week? Calendar?
We do.
We do, and we are at Silverstone next week, so that should be good. So Thursday, 8 PM, there will be some Formula 2 action from there as well. So I was 21 Max, what was your commentator today? I was joined for an hour by LSW legend, and until next time, we at SLR will see you.